Field, College Park, Maryland, getting you set for the Big Ten Tournament Championship game. #1 Maryland and #6 Indiana. Take a look here now at the Maryland starting lineup under Sasho Surofsky.
Yeah, just one change for Coach Surofsky at right fullback. Chris Wallander Ionev comes in to the side, but it's the midfield that was so impressive against Michigan State. Mile Corbose, and underneath you got Dan Metzger.
And how about the starting lineup for Todd Yeagley's Indiana Hoosiers?
Yeah, also just one change. Kyle Sparks comes into the team in place of Femi Hollinger-Jansen, but I think it's a really big game in the center midfield for Dylan Lax.
All right, let's go down to Chris Doran for more on the kickoff right here. Chris?
Dean, thanks very much. Talked to Maryland coach Sasho Surofsky. Talked a little bit about the game plan going into the first half. A quick start is what we should expect. Lots of pressure. Both teams love to do that. One more point, more dynamic runs in the final third. For Indiana, Coach Todd Yeagley acknowledging both teams love to play the same game, lots of pressure. This is not about possession, it's about territory. And so Indiana will force Maryland to play, cut off their channels, and in the counterattack, play the least obvious ball forward as quickly as possible and look to get into the channels to finish plays.
All right, thank you, Chris Doran. He's done a wonderful job all weekend long down on the Ludwig Field. Right between both benches. Both games on Friday and, of course, Championship Sunday. Big Ten Network, always your home for all of the championships, and we're delighted you are with us. Maryland in their yellow, black, and black. Indiana wearing all whites from head to toe. Lax, you need to keep an eye on him. Lax is a little bit under the weather, a little bit of a stomach bug. Isn't sure if he's going to be able to go. Thompson will push it wide. Here's McConnell. He gets the start ahead of Bradford. Now, if you missed Friday's game, as you take a look at the conditions here, 45, much more pleasant. Winds are light as well. If you missed Friday's game, though, Femi Hollinger-Jansen took a shot to the face, and because of that, he has not been cleared to play in this game, and we do not expect him to play, in fact, so that's a big loss.
Absolutely, Dean, and both of Friday's encounters were real chess matches, and that's something that Chris Doran pointed out. One of the things you see here nice and early is Jamie Vollmer has come across to play on the left-hand side of midfield rather than on the right-hand side like he started on Friday. What that means is he's up against Chris Wallander Ionev, who comes into the team in place of Jeremy Raley. So look for Vollmer to go straight up against the fullback nice and early.
Sparks, who got the start for Femi Hollinger-Jansen, and he pushes all the way back to Lillard. Webb. Now here's the big man, Cronali. Aticha. For me, Kevin Egan in the last game, Maryland's win over Michigan State. Technically, it goes down as a tie. They advanced through penalty kicks, but the combination of Metzger and Corbose, I just thought, and you did a great job really of saying it was going to be a great matchup, but I thought those two delivered from the opening whistle right to the very last whistle.
Yeah, they did, and we're not saying that Fatai Lashe and Jay Chapman of Michigan State were quiet, because they did an awful lot. In truth, much of the game was played through the center of the field, which is why I believe that today's clash is such a huge game for Dylan Lax. He's a player that has had a massive impact on this Indiana Hoosier program, particularly when they went on to win the national championship. But today, he's up against the player of Mile Corbose, who's going to drift into that area in which Dylan Lax occupies, and he's got to be big time for his team today. Also, Dean, the one other thing I'd like to point out nice and early is Tanner Thompson, for me, needs to cut off the supply from Maryland centre backs to Dan Metzger. Watch, Metzger wears number 7 for the team in yellow, and he really is the catalyst behind a lot of what they do.
Endo to Aticha. And that's Christopher Wallander Ionev. So Wallander Ionev has not played a ton of minutes, but with Raley going out with that knock, it's a huge loss. Talented right back. He's played all over the field, Raley has, but he's most at home at right back. Here's Wallander Ionev, pushed off the ball. Coming over hard was Lillard. Chris Dorrance certainly knows all about the impact of Dylan Lax and how busy he is going to be today against those talented midfielders.
Yeah, Dean, he's just a big physical presence for Indiana. And, of course, not feeling so well headed into the start of this game. He actually warmed up with his teammates, but had to leave the pitch at least once to return to the locker room, and then came back and warmed up. Not sure exactly what he's dealing with specifically, but he's going to gut this one out, at least from the get-go.
And Dean, I think that's so unfortunate for Indiana. Just that Lax isn't maybe at 100% that, you know, that you'd like him to be at in a match like this. It will be interesting. We'll certainly get a good. He's been straight in, winning balls are nice and early. You saw him win that header right there. Part of what Michigan State did so well against Maryland on Friday, they really silenced the crowd. Maryland had a spell of 10-15 minutes of absolute dominance at the start, as we see Lax win another tackle.
Bowles will lose it. That was actually Richard Ballard.
Come on, Coach Shinsky, come on! Come on, Derek!
Lax with the big win. Will go out of bounds, and here's Jamie Vollmer. Vollmer looks up, throwing it to Oliver with Todd Yeagley looking on. Todd Yeagley, 5th season, won a national championship just 2 years ago. Just his 4th season as the top man coming over.
Put a name early on it, Grant.
Left 1 year to be the head man at Wisconsin, and then decided to come home. Boy, we're excited in Bloomington.
Dean, I failed to mention earlier, Billy McConnell at right back starts for Indiana. Very impressive going forward on Friday. Has the ability to get forward and has those offensive threats a little bit more so than Correll Bradford. And he gets the start today, so it'd be nice to see him attack down the flank for Indiana.
Talk about the incredible history of these teams. 3 national championships for Maryland.
Sellers, come across!
8 national championships for the Indiana Hoosiers. Here's the deal, too. If you ever get a chance to look at Sasho Surofsky and Todd Yeagley and the Indiana programs over the last several years, and look at that record, by the way, 334, 145, and 36. The man just rarely loses.
And Dean, you talk about the history and the success stories for Maryland and Indiana. Just look at the pitch and how many of these players have played in a national championship game. 2 years ago, of course, you have players like Patrick Doody, Oliver, Dylan Lax as well, like we mentioned. And then last season, it was Maryland that went to the national championship game, losing to Notre Dame. And 9 of their players are starters all season, 9 returning players.
Well said, Kevin. Here's Vollmer. To Sparks. Sparks is in. And cleared out by Crognale. Jamie Vollmer, he's got that extra weapon that Sasho Surofsky's got to be aware of, as well as the men in yellow. Not every team has this kind of weapon, and we've seen it time and time again on the Big Ten Network. Vollmer with the long throw-in leading to incredible goals. 2 of them against Michigan to come from behind in Ann Arbor. Here's another one. Right in front, flicked out of there by the big man Crognale. And Vollmer comes over and crushes Endo to the ground, and he'll get called for that foul. Now keep in mind, as you keep your eyes on number 15, Vollmer, here's a guy who transferred from Butler, really didn't play much. Just kind of guy that came off the bench, bided his time. Indiana had to win the Big Ten tournament. They put him in the final game last year in Columbus against Michigan State, and he scores the game-winning goal in overtime to allow Indiana to advance to the NCAA tournaments and keep that streak alive. And since then, this year has been just a huge year for Vollmer.
It was a great finish at the time with his left foot low and hard. And if you remember, this time last year, Indiana, so nervous as to whether they were going to compete in the NCAA tournament or not. They needed to win that game to qualify. Whereas this year, what's nice for these 4 teams that competed in the semi-final of the Big Ten tournament is they're going dancing, for sure. As well, in my opinion, as Northwestern and Penn State. So there'll be 6 teams from the Big Ten Conference in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, certainly congratulations to Damon Rensing and the Michigan State Spartans for an impressive performance, going through double overtime and into PKs against the home team and #1 seed Maryland Terrapins. And of course, Michigan State beat Maryland on this field earlier in the season to start Maryland's Big Ten season. Here comes Vollmer with the throw in again.
Dean, this is as good as a corner in many ways. The trajectory he has on this is inviting for players, taller players, to really attack it like the likes of Grant Lillard.
He'll wind it up, toss it. Foldesy gets his head on it. Helping out is Duty. Duty can snap it right back across. Lillard gets his head down on it. Lax is fighting. Aticha's all over him. And now Foldesy again.
Oh, Foldesy just needed to take a second, compose himself. Indiana had committed many bodies forward, and it was a poor pass from the center midfielder. But right before that, Dean, I think Grant Lillard realized what a big opportunity that was. Instantly his hands were raised to his head in recognition of the opportunity.
You got it, you got it.
One again by Indiana. Foldesy played into space. If Oliver was just able to slow that down a little bit, the attack was on. Oliver, highly heralded a couple years ago. At a time when Indiana was running through some pretty big forwards when you think about Will Bruin and Eric Zavaleta. Last year, Tommy Thompson comes in to different kind of player, not as big as those two, but just as dynamic. Now his brother Tanner doing the job.
I see a player like Andrew Oliver. I think he's quite similar in many ways to Alex Shinsky, who's playing wearing the same number on the ball now for Maryland. Both will run off the defender, like to run the channels. Equally as good at holding the ball up, but they both need support. Aticha's offering plenty of support up top, playing quite high alongside Shinsky, and I think Tanner Thompson needs to do the same.
Vollmer with a nice ball to Oliver. Oliver back across. Well, Sparks was there. Pass from Oliver could not find Sparks or Vollmer, but Foldesy will get it another try. The transfer from Akron, Foldesy, has been a key piece to Indiana's success here. As you know, Kevin, they play pretty good soccer in Akron.
They do indeed, Dean. And I'm just looking at Alex Shinsky. He's jogging rather gingerly right now. He took an awful hit. Was Creviston got up well and won the ball cleanly, but in doing so, just seemed to clean out Alex Shinsky.
You're right, he's limping. Corboz. Valander Ienev from Sweden. Gonna go out of bounds and stay with Maryland. Talked to Corboz just a few minutes before the game and how you liking it here, and he's like, I got so much confidence. Every game I have more and more confidence. Like basically giving credit to Sasho for believing in me and putting me in the position where I belong. If you remember the first time they played Michigan State, they had him out wide. He struggled there a little bit, but he's right at home in the middle of the park. Valander Ienev somehow stays in. Metzger will track it down. Sasho saying Metzger's had a lot of good games, but on Friday night against Michigan State, it was one of his better games.
Yeah, and I think you talked about Mile Corboz as well. I don't think Corboz would have the freedom to get forward like he does if it wasn't for Dan Metzger. He seems to be everywhere, and it's something I touched on Friday. I said that it's not a coincidence that the ball always lands on the feet of Dan Metzger. He reads the game so well.
Big matchup down on the field is between Duty and Endo. What do you got, Chris?
Guys, I'm watching the matchup between Tsubasa Endo and Patrick Duty, and it's been very dynamic. Duty is doing a great job of keeping track of Endo, and Endo is now starting to drift more inside, which is a natural position for a guy who loves to go forward, but he's got to deal with Duty in that channel on the outside, and it has become a very, very important piece to the Maryland attack, what's working and what's not working for the Terrapins right now.
That's something we touched on pre-game as well, Chris. With the diagonal runners of Maryland, it's going to take large amounts of communication from the back four of Indiana, right, to just constantly be able to shift and be aware of those runners, the likes of Endo and Aticha.
And Endo comes off of Friday's game having sort of left a couple of chances on the table, I think, in scoring both in regulation and in the overtime period. So naturally he comes to this game hungry to finish the job and get a goal for the Terrapins.
Just touching on someone like Patrick Duty, I do believe what you're seeing right now is two of the best left fullbacks in the country. I don't think there's any question about that.
Sparks was almost in. Thompson, and it's cleared out.
Yeah, you just watch the intelligence of someone like Patrick Duty. May not be the quickest player in the world, may not be the most technical, but he is so solid. He does a great job for Indiana and always has done throughout his career. Similar to Mikey Ambrose for Maryland.
Throw in for Vollmer. Feels like it's always going to be Vollmer, then Lillard, and then you never know what's going to happen.
Dean, that's another big-time opportunity. Watch Andrew Oliver, how he shakes off his marker. That's the young freshman, the Swede at the back, just allowed a yard or two of space to Oliver, and he has to hit the target with that header. This is a big-time test for Volander Ianov, playing at right back for Maryland. Only featured in 5 games before this. This is a huge occasion. Packed Ludwig Field, Big Ten Tournament Championship game.
Yeah, folks are still rolling in here to Ludwig Field. Early start, 12:30. I figure by the second half, a lot more seats will be filled. Sasha Sarowski telling us that the Maryland soccer program giving out free tickets to the students, thanking them for all of their support the entire season. And Friday even buying them pizzas. They care about the students and the fans here, the crew. They love the crew.
Dean, 2 hours before the game, so many cars out in the car lot, tailgating, getting ready for this big one. This is the juicy contest, the one that they would have wanted maybe.
Yeah, and why not? You know, Indiana has won the Big Ten tournament 12 times. The last one was last year. Maryland won the ACC tournament 6 times. The last one was last year. And
see a team?
I mean, as you go back even to 1997, there's only been a few years where one of these two teams, and usually it's both, have been in the College Cup. Just wrapping up the 90s. In 97, Indiana went to the semis. 98, Indiana won the finals. Maryland was in the semifinals. And then 99, Indiana, they won the finals over Santa Clara. That was just to wrap up the 90s. Later on in the program, we'll tell you what happened in the 2000 as it goes Indiana, Maryland, all the way home, which is, I think, worth mentioning because it's not always easy to continue to have that dominance. You know, you expect some ebbs and valleys, but it doesn't happen at Maryland or Indiana. down near the end line. Lillard snaps it out of there. Sparks pushes it again. Here's Metzger. Aticha, nice spin. Aticha in a battle with Creviston. And it was Creviston who was actually involved in a play that even Todd Yeagley, as I talked to him down in the lobby of the hotel yesterday, he admitted that the ball definitely touched his arms. It did feel like he was in a defensive position and it was in the eye of the beholder. Ironically, of course, Indiana had 2 handballs during the regular season against Ohio State, and if it was not for a penalty kick save from Webb, that would have been a disappointment. So what goes around comes around.
Yeah, I think it was a penalty. I don't think there's any questions about it. Creviston handled the ball with both hands, and Ohio State was in a great opportunity 4 or 5 yards from goal.
Here come the Hoosiers. Duty serves a great ball. Knocked out of bounds.
This has been an excellent game of soccer so far, Dean. 20 minutes gone already. It only feels like we started about 5 minutes ago. Both teams certainly out to score first. No question of anyone bunkering down or having a defensive mentality.
I thought it was pretty neat. Both coaches said it would be similar to a ping pong match, and you know how that is. One end to the other end, and that's quality. Vollmer, big throw in. A save from Steffen. Sitting there again was Oliver. That's the second time Oliver has been there.
Zach Steffen. What a stop from the big goalkeeper. He came up trumps for Maryland in the penalty shootout against Michigan State. And watch this for quick reflexes. Awful defending from the Terrapins. Oliver free at the back post, completely unmarked. And the goalkeeper was furious with his defenders, and rightly so.
Huge save for Steffen. Short corner this time. Duty sends it back with his left. There is Lillard, but he's out of bounds. So Maryland able to survive the throw in from Vollmer that then leads to a corner kick. BTN goes where you want, when you want it with BTN to Go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch live games on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. BTN to Go is available to all major subscribers who receive BTN through their cable, satellite, or participating video providers. To learn more, visit btntogo.com. Also available in the App Store and on Google Play. BTN to Go. Good times here at Ludwig Field. And you know the crew is going to continue to make some noise. Cleared out of there by Creviston. Creviston, we've said it before, 2 years ago when Indiana won the national championship, 2 of the big keys were their goalkeeper Louis Softner and their other defender Caleb Konstanski. Creviston is that Caleb Konstanski who just brings all that heart.
And you know who's bringing heart today in abundance? Dylan Lax. Question marks about, was he at 100%? Did he have a little bit? He wasn't feeling well was the word we were hearing. But Dylan Lax has been everywhere so far in this first half.
Corbeau's. Ambrose. David Kabelic getting ready to check in for Sasho Sarofsky in Maryland. So really, when you think about quality players being not able to go today, Indiana has Femi Hollinger-Jansen, a big-time player, but also Maryland, Jeremy Raley, not able to go.
Yeah, Raley's a big loss. Very offensive-minded fullback. In comes Kabelic. He's someone who's featured in every single game. It's his 21st appearance this season, and he offers a massive spark for this team. What'll happen now is Shinsky, I think, will go across to play on the left-hand side of midfield, Kabelic up top, and just watch for his instant impact.
Aticha. He'll switch it. Volander Ienev. He was trying to find Kabelik, and while Kabelik slipped, Aticha was there, but the youngster McConnell came back in support. And now a dangerous opportunity for the Terps.
Part of the art of defending is anticipating maybe a mistake from a teammate. And that's exactly what Billy McConnell did. He put himself in a great situation that if the ball was to come all the way through, he was well able to deal with it.
Driven in by Ambrose, driven out by Creviston. Endo will run it down for Maryland. With limited pressure from Thompson, not very much. Aticha will send it back in. Aticha sits all the way back, as normally Odui Atsum will get involved in corner kicks, but now Odui Atsum has come back to sit to the left of Aticha. Aticha, pretty good service over the top. Metzger can get to it. He actually kept it in bounds for a moment. Good hustle by Metzger, but it'll go out of bounds far side. Here come some subs now for Indiana, as we are at Ludwig Field, College Park, Maryland. Dean Linke along with Kevin Egan and our outstanding reporter, Chris Doran. Kyle Sparks with some great minutes, as did Foldesy.
Excellent play from Tanner Thompson. Great vision to switch it.
Oh, a good shot by Duty coming forward inside the 18, and Stefan was there again.
Lovely bit of play. Thompson lifts the head, picks out the run at Duty, and the left back hits it first time. He fancies his chances. It's great awareness from the goalkeeper, Zach Stefan. He knew exactly where that ball was going.
4 goals on the season for Duty, including 1 on Friday. Just trying to get the subs that just came in for Indiana on that last attack. Webb comes off his line. Pernali will head it down, won by Vollmer for a second. One back by Corbeau's.
I think the ball was still moving. Referee called it back. I've been very impressed so far with the tireless running up front from Andrew Oliver. It's something Michigan State didn't have to pose against Maryland on Friday. Montague was dropping a little bit deeper. Kreutz was certainly a little bit deeper, and they didn't have that runner off the shoulder to make the defenders think that little bit extra.
Aticha, nice ball up to Kabelik. Creviston helped out. On a spin was Shinsky. Shinsky does not need a whole lot of room. Corbeau's will switch it. Volander Ienev has got to do better on that right side.
Lovely little ball inside from Aticha. And in the end, the ball falls nicely for Shinsky. Lovely little turn. Gets the shot off. And that last sequence there, when it played out and went all the way across to Volander Ienev, you saw how Maryland misses Jeremy Raley in that instance. He's so good. Great crosser of the football.
It's a wrestling match.
Chris Doran's got a pretty good seat down there to hear what both coaches have to say.
Well, Sasho Surofsky is looking for more fight from his team. He wants them to get in and be more aggressive on the Indiana side of the ball. In transition, Todd Yeagley imploring his troops to get the lines out faster so that the pressure can be applied to Maryland more in the midfield end in Indiana's attacking half of the field.
Free kick opportunity for Maryland. This first half, let me tell you, is just flying along. The play has been outstanding. A lot of yellow jerseys, including Cronali inside the 18. They try to find Cronali. Also there is McConnell. It'll go off of McConnell and corner kick Maryland. Maryland with 2 corner kicks now, 1 for Indiana. 4 shots for Indiana, none for the Terps. Shinsky will come out of the game. Corner, Terps. It was Creviston that time. Ambrose kept it alive. It'll go under the feet of Corbeau's. There's only been 1 save in the game, and it was a pretty good one, as we know from Stefan.
Well, Indiana's best 3 opportunities. Where have they come from? Vicious Vollmer throw-ins. And we laughed about it, but it's something that Northwestern did. Tim Lenihan and Todd Yeagley were joking about it a little bit after they played in the quarterfinal and said it was called the Vollmer fence. They moved it in just a little bit just to maybe give Jamie Vollmer less of a run-up for his throw-ins, and that's smart. You can see it here when Jamie Vollmer is taking a throw-in. He has to kind of do like a crab-style run to his side, run to his left-hand side for a few yards and then try and launch it because there's very little room.
Let's go down to Chris for more on Jamie Vollmer.
Well, you guys talking about the space, and of course Tim Lenihan thinking about how he can affect Vollmer's throws at Northwestern. Here at Maryland at Ludwig Field, I walked off the amount of space between the signboards and the touch line, and it's actually, there's a little more space here on the near side of the field than there is on the far side of the field. But Vollmer's been able to step outside of the signboards. One other thing, Vollmer's communicating via sign language to his teammates before he takes the throw. He signals whether or not he's going to go far post or near post. That's not inside information, it's just what I've been able to tell as he prepares to put the ball back in play.
Isn't that amazing? It's amazing on many levels. One, in that he's able to throw it to the far post, and he's able to have that ability to alter it and say, well, I can go short or long or right or left. I think it's a wonderful threat to have.
It's pretty amazing that Chris Doran can read sign language too.
Exactly.
Well, it's really nothing special. It's 1 arm up or 2 arms up. That's as far as it goes for Chris Doran in sign language, okay?
He's amphibious. Over the top to Oliver. And that'll roll out of bounds.
Class play from Patrick Doody at left back. He started it all with a lovely little step inside. Maybe Andrew Oliver just a little bit over anxious. There's the foul right there. You can see he kind of wraps his legs around the right foot. Right leg of Oduyatsum. Both sides have that excellent balance at the back. The big-small partnership, Creviston and Lillard, and also Oduyatsum alongside Cronali at the back. Both Creviston and Oduyatsum have the pace to cover as well if need be.
McConnell gets it out of trouble for just a moment. Oduyatsum with Oliver pressuring. Looked like maybe a foul there on Griffith, who's come off the bench for Todd Yeagley. But it'll come all the way back to Stefan. This game flying along, like I told you already. There's only 12 minutes remaining here in the first half. Kevin, where'd it go?
No idea. Not in the back of the net, but I'm sure there will be goals.
It's a real good flow. Lillard. Look at Thompson. Battled for it for a moment. It's one back though by Metzger. Nobody dives in on Metzger because if you do, he'll go right by you. Lax knew that, so Lax was patient. Lax got it back. Now Oliver was hoping that Thompson was going to make the run with him. Bollender Ienev will use Stefan, and Stefan will knock it out of bounds. It'll be a throw into Patrick Duty. How about the goal for Patrick Duty against Ohio State to get Indiana on the board first on Friday?
Yeah, belter. Top class. Controversy around a lot of incidences in that game. Many felt that, you know, at that time, should the free kick have been given? Because at that moment, Femi Hollinger-Jansen had gone down with a head injury. Play continued. And I think the Ohio State Buckeyes would have felt the referee, because it was a head injury, should have brought the game to a halt. Didn't do so. And that led to free kick opportunity for Duty. He made no mistake.
Thompson over to Oliver.
Just look at the pressure from Maryland. Look how many defensive players they had back. It was Kabelek up top by himself. Everybody else was back defending. An excellent work rate.
Jamie, Grant, can you put a name on it? Step in front of Lax. Lax, invert with them.
Duty, stay tight there.
It. Own it, Grant, own it.
Goal kick for Stefan.
That's it.
Well done, Jack.
Go, go. This is borderline ridiculous. We're getting raped up here.
Crowd starting to heat up just a little bit. Hard foul right side. A little sportsmanship there, though, as Endo. Shaking the hand of the Indiana sub, Richard Ballard. And another foul. So Indiana knocking on the door, and Ambrose will get a yellow card.
And Dean, a lot of times in that exact scenario, you see referees play advantage. However, there was nobody inside the box for Indiana. There was no real advantage. So the referee brought it back. It was their main out-and-out striker, Andrew Oliver, who received the ball on the right-hand side. He looked up, there's nobody there. And the referee calls a free kick. I think that's good refereeing.
In front of him. Stay right there, Rex. Stop. Let's do.
Free kick opportunity for Indiana. Bouncing around. It looked like Vollmer, who's normally doing the throw-ins. But he was offsides anyway, didn't matter.
Yes, Vollmer may have been offside, but I think there was one other Indiana player in the area that wasn't. And Maryland had stepped out. Just take a look at this again. Great delivery from Duty. Now Vollmer's clearly in an offside position, but Oliver's not. And if Vollmer gets out of the way and Oliver goes for that ball, that's an outstanding chance. Sasho Surovsky will not be happy with the defending so far from set plays. 3 times from Vollmer throw-ins, they've looked suspect, and also from that play. If that ball falls to Oliver, he just has to tap it home.
22nd season at the helm for that man, Sasho Surovsky. Better from Maryland. Sasso Sorowski going deep to his bench at the moment. This is a teacher. Jeroen Meefoot from the Netherlands. We saw him score against Northwestern as well. Another shot. Endo is there, handled by Webb.
Not a bad effort from distance. You know, Dean, it's interesting. Yes, there's 6 minutes to play in the first half, a long way to go in this game. But none of these Maryland players have ever gone back-to-back games here at Ludwig Field without scoring a goal. Ever. The last time Maryland went back-to-back games without scoring was back in the 09-10 season. Saturday, October 24th against Wake Forest, and then a week later against Virginia. Stats work of our great man next to me here, Joe Kerrigan, with that information.
Knocked out of bounds.
And do you think that, you know, that speaks to the Big Ten and the competition?
Indeed.
You know, gritty, hard-working teams that don't concede early. Great work ethic.
It's been their makeup, hasn't it, Kevin, for quite some time. I do feel like these two teams play the most attacking style in the Big Ten. I think the other Big Ten coaches would agree with that as well. You saw it even last year as Indiana struggled. They continued to attack, scored a ton of goals. They were just giving up a lot of goals. Go down to Chris Doran. Talk about Endo and the Maryland attack.
Well, we talked to Sasho Sorowski as Maryland builds up here. Big service in, and it's blocked and out of bounds. About dynamic runs in the attacking third. Tsubasa Endo in that 1v1 setup against Patrick Duty, not able to get anything done.
Hang on here, Aticha, he can turn. Aticha does turn, but he's not on frame. It'll be a corner kick, Terps.
So Dean, Kevin, Endo has switched to the other side of the field as with a few subs, Coach Sorowski is looking for an answer in the attacking third for his Maryland Terrapins.
And I was thinking that earlier, guys, because Endo didn't have much joy against Jimmy Fiskus against Michigan State on Friday. Didn't have much joy against Duty, and now he's up against Billy McConnell, a slightly younger fullback.
Corbeau's driven across, flicked far post. Dewey Atsum had come on. Be another corner kick now for Maryland as we are under 4 minutes left in the first half. Mikey Ambrose will handle the corner from this side with that great left foot. Endo comes over in support if Ambrose thinks he needs it. You know, Crognale is in there. They'll give it to Endo. Great deflection by Indiana. Endo thought he was going to be able to win it back. Good ball to Ambrose. Ambrose has another shot. Crognale still in the middle of all that. It turns. Odui Atsum's there. Volander. The Swede is there as well, and it's 1-0 Maryland. Volander Ienev has Maryland on top.
Volander Ienev, the poacher supreme. All the way from Sweden. Now playing at Ludwig Field, and he tucks it home for the opener in the Big Ten championship game. Just watch this game of pinball as the ball could not be cleared. Sloppy from Indiana. And the fullback ventured forward to great effect. Just watch as nobody picks up number 14 in the area. Creviston goes diving in. Lillard can't clear. And in the end, it falls to an unmarked Chris Volander Ienev. Remember the name, folks. 1-0 Maryland.
First goal of the season, and this is only his 6th game of the season, as he played only over 100 minutes during the regular season. So what a time to come out and be in the right place at the right time, and what a great way to perhaps go into halftime. Let's see if Indiana has the answer. Thompson pushing, trying to force a corner kick, and he does. Corner kick, Hoosiers. Punched out of there. Lax comes forward. Picked up again by Steffen, as that's Kraviston right at the top of the 6. Both these teams with so much pride, so much history. Two of the more prestigious across the country. Of course, St. Louis, always very good. Back in the heyday, San Francisco, pretty good. UCLA. Oliver.
I thought the right pass there was Billy McConnell on the far side, was tearing up the flank.
Kraviston, good pass to McConnell. McConnell's fouled. So
let's take one more look at the goal. Just a lofted cross in. Indiana will be very disappointed that between all the players involved right there, Grant Lillard trying to clear his lines, deflected, falls straight to the fullback, Volundarianev, who tucks it home.
wow, look at Steffen come straight out and get it.
Dean, if you're Todd Yeagley right now, you know that your team has every single capability to get back in this game. You saw it from the throw-ins, and there's no surprise that Andrew Oliver has come across to the attacking left-hand side, and he's won a lot of throw-ins for his team, because that is a serious threat. But more than that, they need to show so much more support to Oliver up front when they do break. And I think this man here, Duty, along with Billy McConnell, are great outlets in the fullback positions to get forward whenever possible.
Well, that's well said, because that was a great pass from Duty to Oliver. And then Oliver tripped up by Metzger. And it was Duty that started that attack, but it doesn't matter, because guess what? We are out of time. And after 45 minutes of play, the #1 seed Maryland Terrapins lead Indiana by a score of 1-0. And Chris Doran is standing by with Maryland head coach Sasho Surofsky.
Well, Coach, how important was it for you guys to get that goal before the break?
Well, it was huge. You know, Indiana came out very aggressive. They, had some good looks early on. We weathered the storm. We came back strong. We made the most of our 1 or 2 good chances, and we have to be better in the second half.
And in terms of being better in the second half, you're looking for some answers up top. Are you getting those dynamic runs you wanted?
No, we look a little fatigued, to be fair, right now. And I'm not sure if the overtime game on Friday, but we look a little tired. There was a fairly strong win. You probably can't tell on TV. It kept the territorial advantage, I think, to Indiana. I think we'll be fine in the second half. We'll be a lot better.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Good luck in the second half. Dean?
All right, Chris, thank you so much. As really that first half was end-to-end and extremely entertaining, as both teams are playing for that trophy. After 45 minutes of play, it's the #1 seed Maryland 1 and Indiana 0.
Todd, it had to have been disappointing to go to the locker room down a goal after what looked to be a very positive first half of play for Indiana.
I thought we played well. I thought we created some very dangerous situations. I think we handled their pressure really well and played past it, and we're dangerous. I thought we're the more dangerous team on the half, and again, not tons of rhythm in this game. It's going to be 2 teams going at it, and I feel confident that we can find a couple here in the second half.
All right, great, Todd. Thanks very much. Good luck to the Hoosiers and to Maryland as they start the second half of the tournament final.
All right, so here we go. Delighted to be with you here on the Big Ten Network, your home for the Big Ten Men's Soccer Tournament Championship game. It's Ludwig Field College Park, Maryland, home to the Crew. I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with Kevin Egan and the man on the floor, Chris Doran. Dewey at him. Drop it back to Stefan. It's getting louder and prouder in here now. Little push from behind as you're seeing Todd Yeagley and Indiana go with number 6, Jack Griffith, a freshman from Danville, Indiana. You see him right there. Lax has stayed in there. No Femi Hollinger Jansen. Oliver has Vollmer.
You know, Dean, as impressive as Indiana was going forward and opportunities they created, you just can't help but think, especially with the Vollmer throw-in, how much they miss Femi Hollinger Jansen. Because he's featured in all 20 games before this season. He scored 5 goals, has 2 assists. He's been a big part of the season's success so far, and it is disappointing. Our thoughts are with Femi, and hopefully he recovers soon.
Look at Shinsky. Actually gained 5 yards on the closest Indiana player as that ball was dropped into space. Sent back across again. Goes off of Creviston's head. It'll be another corner kick. And Webb.
Yeah, you're right, Dean. Look at the pace of Shinsky. A bit of confusion between the back two, Creviston and also Grant Lillard. But Shinsky capitalized, got to the byline, delivered a good cross, but he had to get it across to Aticha.
Was I just seeing things there, or was Aticha wide open?
Yeah, he was in a good position, but I think the pass was slightly blocked off.
Ooh, Webb is now limping around.
Bit of wrestling going on. You could see that Webb's foot seemed to be stepped on. George Campbell, the man in a little bit of a tussle with Colin Webb. He's not a happy camper at all.
Let's see if we can see what happens here.
George Campbell knows exactly what he's doing in that scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like the referee saw it too and then just said, let's not do it anymore. Metzger was directing traffic. Metzger's the kind of player, even if he's not touching the ball, he was telling the players where to pass the ball. Second and third pass. Aticha putting some pressure on the big man Lillard. Here's the young Swede who has the only goal of the game. He got it started. Griffith, out of duty. Back to Griffith. Way too long for Vollmer.
That's good stuff from Jack Griffith. I didn't think Matt Foldesy had one of his better halves in the first half, and that's a big role now for Indiana because Lax is going to sit and protect the back four. And Jack Griffith has to cover an awful lot of ground. I know this is stating the obvious, Dean, but the next goal is everything in this game. If Maryland get it, this crowd is going to be on their feet going absolutely crazy, and the home side has a 2-0 lead. And this is a team that's won their last 10 games. If Indiana get it, the crowd is silenced, and it's a side that has not lost on the road in the last 10 games that has the momentum.
Well said, Kevin Egan. Endo. Headed out by McConnell. Thought maybe we would see some of Carell Bradford in the second half. He's available.
And we touched on the job that Jack Griffith is doing. Maybe there's an option there for Indiana if they wish. Carell Bradford, yes, he plays at right back, but he can easily slot into a defensive midfield role and allow Dylan Lax, he's a big physical threat, Lax, and allow him drive forward a little bit. We saw him get the goal against Northwestern at Lakeside Field. He can hit them from distance.
Great movement here. Duty comes over just in time to handle Campbell. As Campbell was in there, freshman from Baltimore.
Dean, this is exactly what Coach Surofsky will want to see. More diagonal runs. Campbell on this occasion with a lovely piercing run inside the Indiana defense. Nearly found him.
Metzger. Good drop to Shinsky. Now Aticha. And just saying Aticha and Shinsky and Endo, we couldn't say those names early in the season. When you were here at Ludwig Field or another game on the Big Ten Network, they weren't available. And since they've all been available, well, you know the story. They haven't lost.
It was that, and also I think the anger from the Lakeside Field game against Northwestern. Controversial decision. Did the ball go out of play or not? Joey Calistri was the one that made the pass to Missimo, who got the winner for Northwestern. And we all called it afterwards. This was a momentum changer for Maryland's season.
Chris, you were there for that Northwestern game, and you know what it meant for the Terps.
Well, yeah, it really fired that club up. I mean, the record speaks for itself, but for Sasha Surofsky, he told me this week that that was a galvanizing moment for this team, that they really came together, understanding how to face adversity and ultimately how to respond to it. And you can see it in the maturity that they've demonstrated over the stretch of games where they've not lost.
Chris, what do you think it was? Do you think Coach Surofsky was able to just put a bit of fire in the belly of his players? Or, you know, or collectively, maybe it's just that this team knows how to win. They got to the national championship game last year and they decided that's it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Kevin. I think they had to be reminded of how far they went last year. And Sasho, I mean, we all know him. We've spent time with him. He wears the passion on his sleeve. And it can be and I think that's probably what they needed at that point in the season. Instead of thinking the season was going to be handed to them, they understood that they had to go out there and take a few games.
It didn't hurt that this man got back on the field. Endo, he didn't play in that game. Dropped over to Corbeau's, but handled by Webb. As Endo didn't play in that game against Northwestern, neither did Aticha, and neither did Shinsky.
What a run from Tsubasa Endo, and I'm thinking he has to let rip here. He has to go for this low and hard. Colin Webb was inviting him to shoot. It looked like there was a little bit of space on the near post.
Other side, it's Oliver. Oliver stood up for a second by Aticha. Oliver keeps it down, and almost snuck by Steffen. Pretty good shot from Oliver.
Both scenarios, both players carving out great opportunities for themselves out of nothing, really. Andrew Oliver did great to dig it out. Not too far away. And you know, the more and more Indiana press in search for that equalizer, the more gaps are going to appear at the back, and this Maryland side is well able to expose that.
I told you earlier that since 1997, almost every year except 2006, 2007, and then 9, 10, and 11, those are the only years that either Indiana or Maryland were not in the College Cup. That is domination. Right side here now, Meccano has Sparks in front of him. Meccano needs to know who he's playing against right there. It's Metzger and Ambrose.
Yeah, I'm Billy McConnell. I look at that situation. Two players defending me, Metzger and Ambrose. I'm saying, look, let's get it inside to Oliver.
Or Sparks was right behind him too. Meccano. Metzger will win it to Ambrose. Offside.
Dean, where we're sitting, we have a perfect view of that. I don't think Shinsky was offside. I think Grant Lillard was playing him on.
Maryland 1, Indiana 0. Indiana with 8 national titles, Maryland with 3. Vollmer to Oliver. Oliver with the left foot. Right to Steffen again.
Exactly the type of play you want to see if you're Todd Yeagley. Jamie Vollmer just cut inside, found that little pocket of space between the lines, lifted his head. Lovely pass to Oliver, who let rip. Much better from Indiana.
Much better. 7 shots now for Indiana. 6 for the home team and top seed Maryland. Four shots for Oliver, 3 of them on goal. So Oliver with more than 50% of all the shots. Here comes that great throw in that Chris Dorn was talking about. Going on the track, look at that, Vollmer, one bounce. And fall to Sparks. Sparks cannot flick it over Steffen. So here we sit.
Little surprised not to see Dylan Lax venture into the penalty area as well. And just have somebody like a Creviston stay. Lax is one of the biggest players on the pitch.
Lax not feeling super hot. Having trouble keeping food down before the beginning of the game. It's questionable whether he was even going to start, but of course it is the Big Ten Tournament Championship game, so pretty tough guy. Look at this, Shinsky. Shinsky with a move. Shinsky with a shot. Not on frame. Goal kick, Indiana.
It was a great bit of skill from Alex Shinsky. Just to take the ball away from Jack Griffith. Watch Shinsky's touch here. There he goes. Off to the races in plenty of space. Takes it onto the favor of the right foot.
Played down the line. The Hoosiers trying to equalize. Steffen had the near post covered, and that's exactly where the ball went. Sparks was in front of him, but perhaps an even better option was Griffith, who had made his way to the far post. Love to see Tanner Thompson get more involved. Such a dynamic player. He's on the ball now.
Dean, you took the words out of my mouth, and the chance that Oliver had a few minutes ago, the pass from Jamie Vollmer, that's the position you want to see Tanner Thompson in. He's been a little bit frustrated, I think, today with the pressure that Maryland has put on him, clearly identifying him as one of the main threats for Indiana. He is the architect of a lot of what they do going forward.
Big time family. His brother Tommy starred for 1 season last year at Indiana. Who could forget their dad Greg, who won a couple national championships as well at Indiana, including scoring both goals in the national championship victory over Duke. Got another brother who stars for Stanford. Cousin to former Indiana Hoosier Billy D. St. Alban. Big time soccer family. That's when you know that genes were rolling out pretty good. Steffen. Teacher. Does well to hang on to it. Ambrose. Now to Sowers. Sowers began Friday with one mission in mind, and that was to break ankles. Here's Corbeau's to Metzger. Metzger and Corbeau. Sasho Surofsky telling us that they've had a great season, but Friday, perhaps their best game together. What a time to play well. Sowers again.
Class possession football here from Maryland. Very calm. No need to panic. They're the side with the lead. Let Indiana chase. And then when you get that little moment to pick out the right pass, make sure it's accurate.
I mentioned how many times these two teams have played over the years in big games, as both teams going for that trophy right there. The Big Ten Conference Men's Soccer Tournament Champion 2014 trophy. Maryland would like to keep it right here in College Park and do the double in their first year in the Big Ten. Sowers.
Dean, I think both number 9s today are given an absolute exhibition of how to chase down a ball, control it under pressure. They're both playing against physical centre-backs. It really is a joy to watch. If anybody's watching who wants to learn how to lead the line, look at Shinsky and Oliver and what they've been able to do today.
Teacher pushed down. Hill earns the foul. Back at Shinsky.
Yeah, just tireless running. Looks like Grant Lillard, the big man, is the favourite to win the ball. Shinsky gets a foot in, wins it back. Lovely bit of skill here to bring his teammates into play. And now he has support. He never had support when the ball was initially played. And he worked his socks off to win back possession.
See who Lillard will mark here. Left foot, back across, snap by Conlon, corner kick Maryland.
Nice in-swinger from Ambrose. Webb stayed on his line and solid defending from McConnell. Teach is the only one back. He's the last defender from Maryland. I prefer if Indiana had someone forward to give them an outlet for a counter-attack.
Indiana, second ball, bounces to Thompson. Now here's Oliver. Oliver. Oh my, and an own goal, and we are tied at 1. You've been talking about the pressure of Oliver, and that pressure leads to an own goal, and here we go at Ludwig Field.
You just praised the tenacity of both number 9s, and that man, Andrew Oliver, he'll want to claim that one. Right from the goal kick, Colin Webb belts it out. It's one in the air. Jack Griffith gets a touch, on it goes again. Tanner Thompson plays it to Oliver. Great second touch right there. And it seemed to, I'm not so sure, maybe it was Metzger. Oliver might claim it himself. Yeah, I think this could be Andrew Oliver's goal. There's the pocket of space, exactly where you want Tanner Thompson. Picks out Oliver. That's Oliver's goal. Metzger kicks it off the right boot of Andrew Oliver. And credit the front man. He pounds his chest with absolute delight. We talked about how important that next goal is going to be. The crew are awfully quiet all of a sudden.
Oliver deserves it, that's for sure. You were talking about the pressure he has been putting up, and I do believe he does deserve it. 4th goal of the season, Andrew Oliver. And Indiana has tied it here at Ludwig Field. So how about that? And now a throw-in for Vollmer.
Yeah, within seconds, they're being asked to face a Vollmer throw-in.
Keeps it low, snapped by Lillard, but right to Steffen.
Dean, the next 5 minutes, absolutely crucial. Especially after scoring a goal, you always want your team to get back to just utter concentration, remembering what their roles are. You don't want to celebrate for too long because this Maryland side is very well capable of going up the other end with a sucker punch.
Lillard. Paid up high to Oliver. Let's take one more look at that goal.
Here's that pocket of space I'm talking about. Right there, Tanner Thompson in space between the lines, picks out Oliver. Look how tenacious he is. Just harasses the defenders, forcing that. You can't blame Metzger. He came right in and tried to intercept the ball, but in doing so, kicked it off the right boot of Andrew Oliver.
Yep, give it to Oliver, and he'll take it. And now we are tied at 1, and Indiana looking for more. And now you really wonder what Femi Hollinger-Jansen would have meant to this Indiana team as well.
The corner kick for Indiana, taken by number 10, Tanner Thompson.
Corner kick, Thompson. Thompson back again, right to Steffen.
Dean, I don't want this game to end. It's been a joy to watch so far. Two teams really going at it, both desperate for the win.
Yeah, who could forget that game played here in 2006 with so many professional and even U.S. national team players. Maryland was leading 3-0, and Indiana came back and tied it 3-3. In 2006, a regular season game. Looked like a handball. And now Ambrose.
And Todd Yeagley is just telling his bench to calm down. All jumping outside the area, and he's just telling them to calm down, come back inside, stay on the pitch. But there was certainly a claim for a handball. I'm not sure whether the defender was inside or outside the box. Let's take a look one more time. Ballard does so well. Takes it toward the byline, delivers the cross. That is a handball, and that's on the edge, Dean. That's very close. That's a definite handball call. It hits the left arm of Mikey Ambrose.
Boy, that has been a predominant story this weekend here for the Big Ten men's soccer tournament. Driven in. His Duty fell down on the kick.
That was a great ball from Duty, just into that corridor of uncertainty. Here's the handball call. Was he inside or outside? This is a great look.
He was outside.
He's just, yeah, his hand was further back than his feet though, but yeah, I think you're right. Just about outside. Wasn't given.
Vollmer. Lillard.
And Dean, we talked about the next goal and who was to get it. And the momentum has shifted in favor of Indiana right now.
Absolutely. This weapon, Jamie Vollmer, keeps it on the ground to Thompson. Thompson. He'll earn a free kick. Maryland seems a little frustrated.
This was a foul. Just watch a lovely bit of trickery here. That's a definite free kick, no question about it.
I'm dead. The water.
Driven across, Steffen punches it. The corner kick the other side. Maryland facing all kinds of pressure right now from the Indiana Hoosiers.
It looked like Sasha Swarovski was angry that there wasn't a free kick for the contact on Zach Steffen after he had punched the ball away. Didn't call it, and it's another corner for Indiana.
Driven in. Thompson making the run.
Dean, we both asked for a bit more from Tanner Thompson, and we're getting it. Let's check out a corner just a moment ago. Watch Grant Lillard, number 5. I think he misses a clean header here. He's up very high. No, it's a little bit higher. It's a little bit too high for him. Originally, I thought that Grant Lillard had leapt enough to get contact on that. Even Lillard wasn't tall enough for it.
Vollmer looking for Lillard again. First header was there, now Steffen. Sasha Swarovski's got to be, let's get the ball out of here. Ambrose, some pressure from Oliver. Definitely some hitting going on right now. Sowers.
Big boy football, Dean.
Indeed.
That's a bad call. I think everybody inside Ludwig Field could see that, except for the officials. That should have been a corner kick to Maryland. Here's another look at how the ball came off the right foot. Yeah, that's Oliver's goal. Absolutely. Back of the net, Andrew Oliver with the equalizer.
Mark it down. And that's where we're all right now. Tied at 1. Steffen. Little pushing and shoving. Foul on Indiana. Back across, Webb punching everybody, including his own player Lillard. Here's Endo. Endo. Canali was in there. They all thought it went off a white jersey, but it'll be another goal kick for Indiana, the Crew.
Great header at the back post across, and that's just wonderful goalkeeping from Colin Webb. And on this occasion, it was Tsubasa Endo, that dug out a great cross. And the crew felt that had gone behind for a corner kick. It wasn't given. And Colin Webb, a bit of sportsmanship here, has brought the ball over to the far side of the 6-yard box, just to waste a little bit of time. Look at him here. He's just going to wait for his fullback, Billy McConnell, to tie his laces. And the crowd getting a little bit restless, Dean, just feeling that Indiana are wasting a bit of time. Maybe as Maryland started to get a bit more momentum on their end.
I don't know if Webb did, because it was actually McConnell that was taking care of his shoes. Did they give him a yellow?
I actually thought it was for Colin Webb, but you've made me question. I'm not so sure if it was for Webb or McConnell.
The yellow card was issued to Indiana's number 2, Billy McConnell.
Yeah, McConnell got the yellow card. Here comes Maryland. They were facing the fire of the Indiana Hoosiers. McConnell. Vollmer. Thrown to the ground by Oduyi-Atson, but they'll let him play on.
I think Vollmer was more focused on where his body was and trying to put it in front of Oduyi-Atson, but the big defender did well. Definitely not a free kick.
Inside, on the turn, Maryland to try to take the lead. Still loose. And Creveston able to clear it. Coming back the other way. See Maryland now with Meefoot up top. We saw Meefoot score a big goal at Northwestern in that loss. Both benches are highly animated.
I tell you what, Andrew Oliver's getting the treatment. See this Maryland opportunity. Wonderful, wonderful build-up play from the Terps. In the end, that's a good stop from Colin Webb. He was out nice and fast to close down the danger.
Jerome Muirfoot from Netherlands. Big, tall center forward. Hasn't played a ton, but he's dangerous just with his size. Here's Thompson. Thompson taken down, but here's Lax. Duty. Griffith will switch it far side. Vollmer not on frame. The Big Ten Digital Network is now BTN Plus, available on BTN to go. Subscribe to BTN Plus and gain access to hundreds of non-televised games, then enjoy them on more platforms wherever you are. Get BTN Plus now, available on BTN to go. Vollmer will go out. Oliver's up top at center forward. Coming in as well is Richard Ballard, number 18. Still in there, Tanner Thompson. Mentioned his great family. It was actually Bobby D. St. Alban, his cousin, who started Indiana. Played inside. The shot. Wow. Absolutely hammered there by Jerome Muirfoot.
Muirfoot's done well since he's come into the game. Many people looking to the assistant referee to see if he was offside, but no, he stayed on, and that was a good chance. Let's see what kind of angle the crew had behind the goal as he lets rip. He had a bit more time than I think he thought.
Look at Indiana coming the other way, down the left lane. 7 shots for Indiana, 5 for Maryland. Your score line 1. That was on goal. Ten shots apiece for both teams. Boy, we knew it was going to be an epic matchup, and indeed it has delivered. I asked both the coaches, one of their all-time great meetings, and they said without question the 2004 College Cup out at the Home Depot Center in Los Angeles. Remember, Indiana had won over St. John's in 2003. Maryland was also in that College Cup, and then in 2004, Indiana knocked off Maryland in double overtime. A great pass from Danny O'Rourke to John Michael Hayden, and that was the year that the Godfather Jerry Yeagley had retired. So it was Mike Freitag who won that national championship that year, but you could feel the momentum that Sasho Swarovski was gaining. And Sasho Swarovski told me that after losing that game to Indiana, Jerry Yeagley, the Godfather at Indiana, asked if he could come into the locker room and talk to his team. I asked him, what did he say? He said, guys, you have all the makings to be here next year to win it all. Guess what happened next year?
They won it all.
They did. They won their first national championship under Maryland. It was the Godfather Jerry Yeagley telling the team there after he saw his own Hoosiers beat Maryland in the semis the year before.
It's a great story.
It says a lot about Jerry Yeagley too, right? And Sasho has got great respect for the Yeagley family.
Of course, well, you don't get a name like the Godfather for nothing.
Well, sometimes you get it for the wrong reasons, but he gets it for the right.
Outstanding program that Jerry Yeagley has built, and it's just so, I think it's just such a great story, the continued success that Todd Yeagley has been able to bring this program. Against all odds, 2012, winning the national championship.
Maryland substitution, replacing Makaya Saticha, number 16, David Cabela.
Perfect storyline. 9 minutes remaining. 2 great teams. Game is tied. Pretty good crowd here as well on an early Sunday afternoon. Kind of chilly.
Dean, in time, people will read about, and they're doing their research in college soccer, the first ever Big Ten championship game between Indiana and Maryland. And I hope in the game notes then that they tell you how good a game it was.
They'll probably have a little side note on the Chris Dorn and Kevin Egan impersonation of these great coaches as well. What do you think?
Chris was a little better at Todd Yeagley, I think, than I was as Sasho Swarovski.
Until the players got in his way.
But it's getting heated, it's getting chippy. Both teams sensing the fact that we're into the final 10 minutes.
Maryland, Ambrose driven in, just snapped in. Look at that shot. What a great shot right there. Well done by our wonderful BTN crew. There is nobody that can find a seat right behind that goal. Treviston. Todd Yeagley going to his bench. Shinsky, first team all Big Ten.
And Dean, what does it say about Bradshaw? Redshirted freshman now up front with 7 minutes to play. Your coach says to you, in the Big Ten championship game, you're going in. Are you ready? And now he's leading the line for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, Todd Yeagley told me he would not be afraid to put him in. He played really good against Michigan this year on the Big Ten Network. I was impressed. And he will not be afraid to get inside the 6. This is trouble here now, though. Corner kick for Maryland right in front of the crew. Webb will have trouble focusing here. Sent back across again. How did that not go in? It was actually the Hoosiers tracking back to knock it out of bounds. It'll be another corner kick. Good defensive work. Scary times for the Hoosiers. Maryland was ready to erupt.
Well, not many people expected Corbeau's to hit this first time. He whips in a great ball. Oduyi-Atsum wins it at the back post.
Ambrose. Back across. And you mentioned Oduyi-Atsum. He is a freak athlete.
Yeah, he's got a spring all right. As Indiana brings in the big guns. Vollmer and Oliver, final few minutes. Is there a winner in it for the Hoosiers? You know, a player who's impressed me greatly today for Indiana is Billy McConnell at right back. Here's Oduyi-Atsum. Talk about his athleticism. Billy McConnell has slotted in seamlessly. Pharrell Bradford has played there a lot of the year. McConnell, we talked about his offensive abilities to get forward, but defensively, he's been clutch.
Ooh, looked like a pretty good pass. Oh, and they will say that number 23, Muirfoot, kind of overacted there a little bit, but they will give them a free kick opportunity.
Well, let's see if there's a card. I have to be honest, I thought Muirfoot had drifted into an offside position when the ball was played. So let's see this one more time. As the ball is played, okay, he's onside. I don't think there's a whole lot in that. He's never going to make the pass. The pass is too strong. But now, this is Myles Corbeau's territory.
Corbeau's. Oh my, and there it is. Maryland on top, 2-1 with 4 minutes remaining, and the crew will celebrate.
Take a bow, Myles Corbeau's. That is a special, special strike. 4 minutes to play, Big Ten championship game. Free kick from the edge of the area. The number 8 steps up with the sublime David Beckham-esque free kick into the top corner. Pick it out. That's a very difficult free kick to execute. The easier option is to go for the near top corner. Instead, he whips it over the wall and into the far top corner to evade Colin Webb.
We all knew it was going to be only number 8 who took it. And when he did take it, he took it in a special way, and now that's his 10th goal of the season. Yes, he's had a few PKs as well, but several off of free kicks just like that. And now Indiana has 3 minutes and 40 seconds left here to try to tie this one. And that was an oh my go from Myles Corbeau's.
That's a thing of beauty, Dean Linke.
Yeah,
that's a special strike. The technique involved to wrap your foot around that ball, bend it around the wall into the top corner. Colin Webb's a class goalkeeper. You don't beat him easily.
I'm not sure any goalkeeper that you know could save that one right there. What do you think?
Upper 90 with pace.
Solid.
That's a perfect free kick. That's such a huge moment of the game.
two really fantastic teams. They both play. They both have played. They both delivered an unbelievable performance. Indiana's not done. Creviston to Sparks. They go out of bounds, back to Maryland.
Creviston did the hard part. Took it down out of the sky brilliantly. Lovely little pass to Sparks, but Indiana need to find something. They've got Vollmer on the pitch. Even if they get it out and somehow manage to get a throw in.
Flag is up on Endo. Endo with a little push on Webb. Webb will play it quick to Thompson. Thompson. A little pressure there from Shinsky. Now back to Lillard, side of his foot. Metzger drop it to Corbose. Lillard's got to go fast. And that's a costly mistake right there. It'll be a corner kick. It was almost as if Lillard was too casual that time.
Yeah, and watch. 1 minute 42 was on the clock when Lillard put that out. They're going to wind down valuable seconds here. Maryland in absolutely no rush whatsoever. The ball is in the exact spot up the other end of the pitch. They take their time.
"65 seconds remaining."
You know, Dean, you got to listen to your coaches. Chris Doran said it well. He said, what Maryland needs, what Sasho Surowski wants is more dynamic runners. He kept saying, he's telling his players, make the run. Just make the run that's needed. And what was the game winner? If this game finishes 2-1, it was the run that Muirfoot made, created the opportunity, and it was the guts to have that ambition to make that run that ultimately paid off for Maryland.
Total guts. We're seeing it again. And Webb will knock that one out of bounds. Exactly what you're talking about, Kevin Egan.
Party time at Ludwig.
You get the feeling that's what we're headed toward.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
And the Maryland Terrapins, in their first year in the Big Ten, have won the regular season and the Big Ten tournament championship game. The double goes to Sasho and the Terps.
Yeah, congratulations. Sasho Surowski and Maryland Terrapins on a wonderful success story this season. It didn't go their way at the start of the year. The turning point at Lakeside Field. Since then, they've won 11 straight games. It's been miraculous. Credit to the coaching staff and the players. They all bought in. And they knew they could turn their season around. Unlucky. Tanner Thompson, I thought, toward the end of that match, Dean, I thought he was fantastic. He really grew. With 25 minutes to play, he started to influence an awful lot of what Indiana did. But today is all about Maryland.
Great deal of respect these two teams have for each other, not just in their first year together in the Big Ten, but we talked about some of the other games they have played over the years in the regular season, particularly in the NCAA tournament. Some epic battles as these two teams since 1997 have been in the College Cup for every single year, short of, I believe, 5. If you went back deeper, the story gets even better.
Class programs, and this match ultimately decided by a moment of true class. Mile Corbose with a wicked right-footed free kick to the top corner. Sensational way to end a wonderful tournament.
Maryland, welcome to the Big Ten. You did well, regular season and Big Ten tournament champs.
Yeah, like we touched on, many people didn't feel it was possible 11 games ago. But with these fans, this soccer atmosphere, anything is possible.
All right, Chris Doran is with a very proud coach, Sasho Surowski.
Sasho, you've got to be very pleased with the result. This last 45 minutes really showed great quality of Maryland soccer.
If that's what the Big Ten championship game is going to look like, then this is an incredible advertisement for Big Ten soccer. Kudos to Indiana. They came to play. They were equal to the task. We happened to make one more play today. The game winner by Mayal was worthy of a championship game winner. Both teams fought hard. Both teams were, high quality, highly competitive. This was a great tournament game, and I'm thrilled for our guys because we got off to a tough start this year. To come back and show the championship fiber against one of the great championship fiber teams in the history of the game is a credit to our guys.
Coach, you talk a little bit about the quality of Big Ten soccer. If this is the kind of environment that the tournament championship is going to have every year, I wouldn't mind coming back either, but I'm afraid you've got a few schools that don't want to play here.
Yeah.
You really make it difficult here at Maryland.
Well, we do because we've got a good team and we've got a great fan base, but actually teams love coming to play here, and most of them have played very well here, so hopefully we'll have it back again next year.
And let's talk a little bit about this special sauce that Myles Corboz puts on that ball to finish the play and get you the win.
Yeah, he had one against Santa Clara earlier in the year. He's a special player. We were very fatigued today. I give my guys a lot of credit. Michigan State took a lot out of us in the game, and for us to hang in there today and find a way to get a victory against a great team, there shouldn't have been a winner today. I think the Big Ten won today in men's soccer, but I'm really proud of our guys that they got a chance to smile today.
Coach, we'll let you celebrate with your squad. Thank you so much. Sasho Surofsky with his first Big Ten championship and first Big Ten tournament title.
And Chris and Dean, I think that's absolutely class what Sasho Surofsky has just said as he goes across to cheer on and clap the hands of the fans to credit Indiana for the way they came to play their style of soccer. He said credit to Indiana, and the fact that he says the Big Ten was the overall winner today, I think that's just a touch of class from the Maryland head coach.
All right, we're going to go to break and come back with so much more. Congratulations to the Maryland Terrapins. They do the double in their first year in the Big Ten, winning today's Big Ten men's soccer tournament championship game.